Hello, welcome to my channel. So this is day 6 of 21 days meditation for beginners journey. Today we will delve into the interconnectivity of the mind, the body, and the spirit. And meditation is the best route to merge this into one. Okay. So, if you haven't yet seen my previous videos, I encourage you to see, because then you will understand the essence, the nitty-gritty of meditation. Actually, it's another definition of meditation. It's becoming familiar with. If you haven't meditated yet in your entire life, or you are just beginning, this is becoming familiar with connections of the mind, the body, and the spirit. And I dare you to become a seeker like me. Being a skeptic has some benefits. I'm a left brainer. And by the way, if you haven't yet discovered if you're a left brainer or right brainer, we have an easy way of discovering. You just clasp your hand like that, and whatever is coming in, out, is your tendencies. So you're a left brainer also if it is the left coming up. Another one is you just close your palm like that. My left is coming up. So I'm really a left brainer. And there's nothing wrong with being a left brainer or a right brainer, except that left brainers are super skeptic like me. So we have to go to the details first, the logic behind it, the details. That's why these 90% of people on planet Earth are left brainers. They go for the details. These are the engineers, these are the doctors, these are, they have to go to the details. They cannot prescribe without the details. They have to evaluate first. That's why there are benefits of being a left brainer and right brainer, but meditation can merge the two into one. So before you decide, you see the overall picture. That's what the right brainers are, and most of them are big in business because they see the overall picture, then they found out the details later. Unlike the skeptics or the left brainers, we go to the details first and then comes the big picture. Okay, so that is why if you go to my previous videos, I said my references are most of them scientists, engineers, doctors on this. Why? Because they went into the details first before they say, so that's the issue. So let's start with our body. So our body is the physical representation of the earth. And the perfect description, I don't know what denomination you are, and it doesn't matter. But I prefer that creation story in the Bible, because it's validated by science. Now, hey, anyway, it says, and God said, let us make man in our own image and likeness. So they got a clay from the ground and form it into their image and likeness. So the physical structure of the human is made in the image and likeness of God. So it's just like a potter. He designed himself there. And then after it was designed, they said, and he breathed into his nostrils the breath of life. And man became a living soul. So I prefer to believe that rather than the theory of Darwinism that we came from the monkeys. If we really evolved from the monkeys, then these monkeys should have been non-existing, because we are the evolution. So I prefer that statement. And by the way, that also solves the problem of which came first, the chicken or the egg. Only the logical people cannot come up with that. And only in the Bible it says, and God said, let there be fowls in the air. So it's the chicken. It's an adult chicken first before the egg. So that's the only solution. Because if you go round and round, which came first, the chicken or the egg? So the creation story in the Bible is really what we are delving at. So I respect whatever your belief is, but the issue is there is a validation here from the science. We are part of the earth. That is why talk about antioxidant. The earth is the highest antioxidant. That's why we have to ground ourselves because we are part of the earth. That's why some say Mother Earth, Father God, the Spirit, and the ground, which has validity in science. Okay? Antioxidant. You buy antioxidants, so why don't you just ground yourself for at least 15, 30 minutes? I usually do that 30 minutes a day. It's like a low bat battery of your cell phone. When it's low bat, you go to the charger. You go to the ground and charge yourself. The highest form of anti-inflammatory is the ground. So daily, for me, I go for grounding. That's our baseline. We came from the earth. Okay? And what happens when we die? Okay, so he breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. That's what we are. So what happens when we die? The spirit that was the breath of life, that's the physical representation of the spirit, is our breath of life. So what happens when we die? It's back to the earth. Okay? So when the sperm touches the egg, hits the egg, the breath of life starts. So there is already life there. Okay, so that's the connection here, the breath. That is the connection. Okay? And the body is a physical representation of the earth. Right? Okay, so I hope it's getting interesting. Therefore, our body houses the spirit and the mind. We'll talk about the mind later. Okay. So, we are the temple of the living God. So, how are you caring for your temple? How do you feed your body? Okay. How do you love your body? Because when you love your body, that's the only condition to love others. If you cannot love your body, you cannot love others. Our brain is not the mind. It's just a physical representation of the mind. It's the connection. Okay? So, the mind is where all our experiences, our feelings, our belief, our character, our values are stored. So just like a computer program, let's say the the master programmer or the master processor, that's the mind. In other words, it is not in the brain, it's in the field, it's outside, it's a non-physical part of us. So whatever happens, whatever things that happens in our life, we always the we always go there as reference. Okay? So our activities are programmed. Our decisions are based on those programs. In other words, you change the program, you change the action. You change the belief stored there, you change the action. You change the values that you learned, you change the action. Is it easy to do that? If you're aware of programming in the computer, you program something, it always comes out. It will never change until you change the program. How do you change? All you have to do is reprogram it, delete or whatever, and then it will change. So that's actually how simple it is. But of course, we did not know. Okay, give you some perfect examples so you can relate. Personally, okay, I would say, but actually this is generally, we are programmed to be poor. Except if your parents are rich. You come out, you are programmed that you are rich. So your vibration is that of rich. The vibration is that of abundance. So you don't worry about the food next or whatever, because everything is there. So your vibration of abundance is very high. Versus someone like me. I came from a very poor family, and we are in a neighborhood of the same status in life. So there is no model. Eh? We were all barefoot, we were all running, and everything is just the way it is. And so if there is no, look, if you cannot think, if there is no program for abundance, it cannot come out in our life. Okay? So our parents are always saying, you have to work hard in the field because that's the only way to live, to eat. And then you go to the church, when you go up and say, you will eat by the sweat of your brow, so you have to really work hard. You go to church and you know what they said? It's easier for a rich man to, for a camel to enter the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter heaven. And of course, the programming is there. And then they will tell you, blessed are the poor. They will inherit the kingdom of God. So the programming is there. I was programmed to be poor. Programmed by my parents. I don't have any model for prosperity. Right? So that's why it's very hard to do it. Once you understand. Anyway, that rich man, I was questioning once the pastor. I said, okay, but Solomon is the richest past, present, and future man on planet Earth. So you mean he is not in heaven? David was rich, he's a king. Okay? Abraham was rich, he's a king. So you mean they are not in heaven? Because it's impossible for a camel to go to the eye of a needle, a literal needle. When we went to Jerusalem, belief, sometimes there's a lie in the belief. When we went to Jerusalem, we passed through a beautiful wall where there is a curved out place for a singer, a Jewish girl who was singing a beautiful song using the harp. And it's my first time to see a harp, and the sound was so beautiful. So we paused there and we waited until she finished singing. Then when we were going out of that place, our rabbi, who is our guide, was saying, you know, this covered wall is actually called the eye of a needle, of the needle gate. It's a gate in Jerusalem where the donkeys, the smaller animals pass. So only baby camels can pass through that. So it's not a literal needle. Again, what kind of, you know, Then you go to school, they say our national song in the Philippines is Bahay Kubo, it's inipahat. Kahit munti, as long as there are so many vegetables around, it's okay. You go to church, they say, I'm satisfied with a cottage below. They're looking for the mansion when they die. They will wait forever. Talk about that in another video. Okay? So that is programming. How is your programming? So the reason why I could not get the financial freedom I've been dreaming of, it's because of the programming I had. I realized, why? Oh my God, after retirement, I reached six-figure income, millions, and then went down, 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 down that drain. Then I got again to the higher level, and then down, 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 down again. Why? Because of programming. Okay? The body, the mind, and the spirit has to be in unison in order to get what you want. Now let's go to the spirit. In quantum science, it is equated with energy. Energy. In fact, it has the same definition of God. Energy is energy cannot be created, cannot be destroyed. It can only be transformed in another form. So that's energy. Ay. So quantum science has actually demystified spirituality and religion. In 1925, a scientist discovered that everything is energy. The physical world and the spiritual world are all composed of energy vibrating in different levels of vibration. In other words, nothing is not energy. Spirituality is a science, not a religion. So to me, this demystified the two. Okay, what's the difference between the two? Okay, like I said, spirituality is a science, while religion is a culture. It's based on, it's a practice based on a belief. Okay, so whatever religion that you have, I respect you. But there is something in you and me, and that is the same, which is the spirit. We have the same spirit. Think of spiritual leaders. Jesus is not a Christian when he died. Buddha was not a Buddhist when he died. Muhammad was not a Muslim when he died. All of these three are preaching love. I repeat, infinite love. They lived, they experienced, they they actually are a vibration of love. It's only those followers who made it so totally different. So they were talking of love, and that's actually what we are all made of. Blazing love. That's the essence of God. God is love. And He is the one that's in the center of the human person. So whoever you are, whatever kind of belief you have, whatever color of your skin, we have something in common. And that is love. That is infinite love. Some call it universe. Some call it energy or source energy. Some call it infinite intelligence, infinite wisdom, is at the core of every human being here that makes us one. Let that sink in your heart. Like I was saying, our breath is the physical part of the spirit in us. So breath in the body is life in the body. Breath in the body is spirit in the body. Okay? So we are all one. There is a bioenergetic flow happening inside our body that houses all this. Meaning, if the flow is not good or blocked, we get sick. If the flow is flowing beautifully, it's unblocked. It's optimum health and vitality for the body. And this is the main reason why I really am doing yoga. Why? Because yoga aligns the body, mind, and spirit. Actually, it was in yoga that I found out that the right part of my body is actually blocked. Okay? My eyes, when I retired, I had my diagnosis. My eyes is 125 and the grade of my right is 175. So then I found out that I could not reach like that with my right, but my left could do it fine. Okay. When I enrolled swimming in 2018 with my grandson, I could not really swim because when the feet is doing that, usually my right cramps, so it becomes very stiff. So I said to my coach, look, I cannot do it very long time because look, my feet is like this. So I found out, and all other movements like doing that in yoga, this right is really blocked. That's why it's my issue now. That's why I enjoy doing that, because now my flexibility is better now because of yoga. My balance is better now. Now I could reach a little. Last time I could not really reach. This one cannot touch at the back. Last time. Okay. It's just so down. So I'm improving. So when the flow of energy in the body is flowing like water, it's not blocked, then no sickness. That's why one of my biggest problem right now is, like I said, my diplopia. Okay. So maybe when everything is flowing right, I'll get back my 2020 vision. That's why I'm into it. That's why I was saying I thank God I had that problem, because I would not have delved this really deep if I had perfect eyesight. Spiritual awakening, therefore, is the realization that we are truly made of the highest vibration, of blazing love, of the consciousness that we are spirit, that we are divine, that the wisdom and power is inside, it's not outside. Therefore, some people refer it as the higher being. I would prefer to call it the inner being, which is full of magnificent, complete version of us waiting to be discovered. And this is what these highly enlightened people are. Spiritual beings living in a physical life, vibrating in whatever is the content of our mind. So we can now shift or delete or change the program. to what we envision as our magnificent future for us. Today, the most loving people, the most caring people went to hell and back to go to through the fire, to be on fire. I had to experience what I experienced to share you my experience. So, I do yoga to discover myself, to be in flow, to become healthy and balanced. Okay? I do energy healing for myself and for others who are interested. Actually, I enrolled uh, energy healing courses. Yeah. I got books. Okay. And one of my newest teacher on spiritual healing or energy healing is Dr. Sue Morter. Excellent, because he is a bio energy doctor. I also express deep gratitude for life every day. Blessed to be alive, to be an instrument of blessing to others. That's my biggest dream. That is why I started this channel, because I was thinking, oh my God, if I learned this when I was young, everything should have been beautifully. But there's a purpose for everything, okay? And I'm not afraid of looking stupid. If you think I'm stupid, it's okay with me. But if there's anyone who could resonate with me and start checking their life and start improving their life, body, mind, and spirit, confidence, then my labor is not in vain. You know what? I wish I could speak clearly to even the 7-year-old grandson that I have about this. Their life will be totally different. Okay. So there are two systems that's running our body. Two systems. We are usually aware of the first, which is the autonomic nervous system. Okay. This autonomic nervous system runs our digestion, our healing. Everything is programmed already by the maker of the body. So no, when we hurt, like I cut this one, I cut this one. I was out in the garden last week. Okay, you don't even think of how it will be healed. The body is self-healing. So uh, the the mind dictates what the body to do everything, so it will be healed. So you don't even program it. Okay, so everything that we do, it's automatic. The autonomic nervous system does that. You don't think of how will I digest the food. It's already automatic. But what we are not so aware of, it's a tiny minority only knows this, is we are run by electromagnetic system. It's the system that emits from the mind, the heart, and the gut. Okay? So there is a biological, electric, spiritual communication that's going on with us. Okay? This is from the Heart Math Institute. I'm also a member in their group chat. Okay? The mind, the brain is electric. It has electrical characters. And the heart is magnetic. So it's the one that magnetizes. So electromagnetic field, that's what we have. Meaning, uh, what we think, that's electric. What we feel is the magnet, is the one that attracts. So this is running every minute, every second of the day. What you are thinking is emitting the kind of vibration, and the vibration is the one that is attracting. So if I'm so in love with that person, and that person is also in love with me, we attract each other. We magnetize. The heart is 500 times more powerful than the brain. That is why it's really the one that magnetizes. Yeah. So, what we are vibrating is what we are attracting. So, if I am in luck, what I will be attracting is those in luck. If I am dishonest, the dishonest people will be my companions. If I am loyal, the loyal people will find their way, because we are vibrations. Some people can really see vibrations, if you understand what I mean. When you are walking around, it's the vibration that really pops up, so you match with those of the same vibration. So look at your friends. What are their values? It's one of your values. Why do you click with this guy? Because there is something in you that resonates. That's the electromagnetic system. It's the communication of the body. And one of the things that popped up to me when I went for a diagnosis of my diplopia is, did you have stroke? No. Did you have do you have high blood pressure? No. Did you bump your head somewhere? No. Everything is none. So they said, okay, the second two options, we can operate your eyes, or we can give you prism eyeglass, which is so heavy. It makes the two objects come together, because they, and the sixth one, I have been searching also on this, is the communicating system. The left eye is looking on the left, and the right eye is looking, and they are both looking, they are not communicating. So I see two. Okay, two. Okay. The farther you are, the farther the distance. That's why I had to close my eyes when I see. So that is the biggest problem, is my left eyes are not communicating with my right eye, and vice versa. Whoever is the culprit here. That's why I see two. So that's why I'm so interested with energy healing, because electromagnetic system is communicating system. How can the body communicate? The mind has a brain, the brain has a mind, okay? The heart has a mind, the gut heart has a brain, brain. They have a separate brain, the guts, and they have to communicate with each other. Okay, one perfect example of that is from Joe Dispenza. There was this very, very successful operation, the heart transplant. Right after the operation, when the patient was going to eat, the first food that he ordered is Kentucky Fried Chicken. And that man has never been to uh, those kinds of food. Never, never, never in his life. He's a very good vegetarian. He loves his body, etc., etc. But that was his first request. So the family were kind of weird. Why? Make a long story short, they found out that the donor of the heart was a young man. Actually, a motorcycle accident. He died young man. And of course, his food is McDonald's, all those goodies there, the junk food. The heart has a brain, okay? Then another one of his example, it really is mind-boggling, okay? The there was this lady who also had a perfect heart transplant, okay, successful. Then after maybe a month or two after everything is okay, running already, he had this dream of being chased by a man. So he had these hallucinations, etc., etc., weird dreams. So he went back to the cardiologist, and he said, "Well, I have no problem with that because I did my work and you are functioning well. You are alive with a new heart." And so they want to find out who is the donor, and they found out that the donor was a girl raped. So that's it. The brain has a heart. The the heart has a brain. The gut has a brain. The mind, the brain has another brain. So they have to communicate. That's our body, mind, and spirit. So that's the master system. It controls the autonomic nervous system. And we wish we would have that. I wish. Because when all these are communicating well, okay, the subconscious, the conscious, the mind, the body, and spirit are all communicating. Everything is flowing right. Even the virus cannot come in because the system has to be sick first before any sickness can enter the body. Now, so meditation merges the three to give us a picture of who we want to be. Like I said, I have envisioned my magnificent future already after pandemic. I have so many dreams already. And that dream will vibrate and will attract people of similar characteristics. And we'll join together, we'll encourage one another. And I'm making a fan page in Facebook so that we could communicate there. Like I was saying, I really wish to build a group, a community of like-minded people. Okay? So, again, thank you very much for watching to the end. It is my desire that I will serve you the best I know how. Okay? So, if there are any learnings that you had, please put in the comments below. If there are queries, then let's answer it below. And if you want more on this, subscribe to my channel. Click the like button below because I have committed myself to really put up a video at least every week for the rest of my life, if only to encourage, inspire, and make people change their lives for the better. Thank you so much. See you on the next